What truly defined this underdog victory was not a single moment of brilliance, but a chain of disciplined decisions made under relentless pressure. The defenders understood that time itself was their ally. Every minute they held the line weakened the invaders not just physically but mentally. Fatigue was unavoidable, but panic was not. The larger army began to suffer from its own expectations. Soldiers had been told this campaign would be quick, that resistance would collapse early. When it did not, frustration replaced confidence. Every failed advance felt heavier than the last, not because of loss, but because of disbelief. How are they still standing? That question spread silently through the ranks. The underdogs never answered it directly. They let the battlefield speak for them. Rotation became their secret strength. Fighters at the front were quietly replaced before exhaustion took hold. Wounded soldiers were pulled back without drama. Fresh defenders stepped forward seamlessly. To the invaders, it appeared as if the defenders never tired, as if an endless reserve existed behind the line. In reality, there was no reserve, only discipline. Meanwhile, the invaders struggled to rest. Space was limited. Movement was constant. Soldiers slept poorly, ate poorly, and waited anxiously for orders that changed too often. Leadership at the top faced impossible choices: press forward and risk collapse, or pause and admit failure. Neither option felt acceptable. This internal conflict damaged the invaders more than any weapon. Armies do not break only from defeat. They break when certainty disappears, when soldiers stop believing that effort will bring success. And the stalemate continued. The psychological weight grew unbearable. Each defender became larger in the invaders' minds. 5,000 began to feel like 20,000. Every shield wall felt impenetrable. Every defensive stand felt final. Fear does not always come from danger. Sometimes it comes from confusion. The defenders exploited this without realizing it. By simply holding position, by refusing to overreact, they forced the invaders to fight their own doubts. Small movements were interpreted as major maneuvers. Defensive noise echoed as if from a greater force. Nightfall did not bring relief. Instead, it brought uncertainty. Darkness amplified every sound. Every shadow felt threatening. The defenders, familiar with the land, used silence as a weapon. The invaders, unfamiliar and exhausted, imagined attacks that never came. Sleep became impossible. By morning, the invading army was physically present, but mentally fractured. When pressure resumed, it lacked coordination. Units advanced without support. Others hesitated, waiting for clarity that never arrived. The defenders responded calmly, blocking, withdrawing, reforming, and standing firm again. The battlefield had become a test of will. At this stage, victory no longer meant breaking the defenders. It meant restoring belief within the invading army. And belief, once lost, is the hardest thing to recover. Commanders attempted speeches. Promises were made. Threats followed, but words cannot repair exhaustion. They cannot force confidence where doubt has settled. Eventually, reality set in. Continuing the assault would achieve nothing. Retreat would be humiliating, but survival demanded it. The decision was not announced loudly. It began quietly. Units pulled back slightly. Formations loosened. Momentum faded. The defenders noticed immediately. They did not pursue. They did not celebrate. They understood that the greatest danger still existed. A cornered army can be unpredictable. Discipline was maintained until the threat fully withdrew. Only then did silence truly return. The underdogs remained where they were, standing not as conquerors, but as survivors. Their victory did not reshape borders overnight. It did not create an empire, but it did something more powerful. It shattered a myth. The myth that size guarantees success. The myth that power is permanent. The myth that resistance is futile. In the years that followed, this battle was studied quietly by those who understood its meaning, not as a tale of heroism alone, but as a lesson in restraint. Future commanders learned that preparation matters more than ambition, that discipline matters more than numbers, that arrogance invites disaster. For the underdogs, the victory became identity, a reminder, passed from generation to generation, not of how they destroyed an enemy, but of how they endured one. Survival itself became the triumph. And that is why this victory still stands apart, because it was not won in a single charge. It was not decided by luck or miracle. It was earned minute by minute, decision by decision, through patience, control, and refusal to surrender. In medieval history, many armies won battles. Few won against logic itself. This one did. And that is why, centuries later, this moment remains the greatest underdog victory of the medieval world.